I was on my way to a Rolex authorized dealer and I was not wearing a watch. This can only mean one thing. Yes, I bought a brand new Rolex sports watch from an AD, and today, I wanted to share my experience with you. I'll share my story on how I managed to get it from an AD, how long did I wait for, and also let you know if the AD made me to buy something on top to make this purchase happen. After buying my watch, I recommended my friend to my sales associate, as my friend was looking for a Submariner date with the green bezel, aka the Starbucks. Be sure to stay till the end of the video to find out whether my friend managed to skip the waitlist with my referral. I think you'll be surprised. But first, let me show you what I bought for myself. The watch I acquired was none other than the classic black Submariner date 126610LN. About 5 years ago, I purchased a Rolex Datejust 41 from an AD as a new client. Whilst the Rolex supply was not particularly good back then, there were still watches that you could just walk in and buy. I still remember when I bought my Datejust 41, there were still quite a few sports models sitting at the window and they were available to purchase. I was given the choice of the 39mm Explorer, the 40mm Air King, as well as the Explorer 2 when I purchased my Datejust 41. Because I already have the 40mm Maxi K Submariner, which was my daily casual watch, I wanted to get a more dressier piece, and therefore decided to get the Datejust 41, and I opted in with the fluted bezel and the Jubilee bracelet. I had a really good chat with the sales associate during the experience, but I never really got a chance to revisit the AD again since I bought the Datejust from them, as the store was located quite far away from where I used to live. Fast forward 5 years today, I walked past the very same AD by luck and I thought I would drop by to see if the sales associate was still working there. To my surprise, he was still working at the same store, and I think he remembered me. He noticed I was holding a red Swatch bag and asked if I got myself a new piece. It just happened that I got a new Moonswatch that day, so we started talking about it. It turns out that he also collects Moonswatches, and we kind of bonded over our Moonswatch topic before we move on to talk about the other pieces we have in our collection. After chatting for about 10 minutes, the sales associate invited me to sit down and asked if I have registered my interest for any Rolex model. I told him I still remember registering for the Root Beer GMT after buying the Datejust 41 from him, but I wasn't sure if I registered for anything else. He then looked into my record and said I have put my name down for the Root Beer as well as a black Submariner date, but both of the registrations have been cancelled as I have since registered for something else with another AD within their group, and because each client is only allowed to register for a maximum of 3 pieces at a time, my Root Beer and my Submariner registrations with him were cancelled. I mean, I didn't expect I would get any watches from him on the day, as I was only planning on popping in to say hi, so I took that quite well, and I told him not to worry about it. He then stared at the screen for a few seconds, then told me he actually received a delivery this month, and he is in the middle of allocating the watches to his clients. By chance, one of the watches he could sell was the black Submariner date, and he asked me if I would still be interested if he was to offer it to me. I literally thought about it for 1 second, and I said yes, I would love to take it. I was then told by the sales associate that he is fairly certain that he could sell it to me, but he first needs to obtain approval from his boss. And that is because of 2 reasons. First, my Submariner date registration was cancelled, so technically I was no longer on the waiting list. And second, even if my registration was not cancelled, the model I registered for 5 years ago was the 40mm Maxi Case model, which has since been discontinued, and is not the same model as the current production version, which comes in a 41mm case. In theory, I should have resubmitted my interest for the new model and to start the wait from scratch. The sales associate then told me he would work on my application to get the final approval, and if I don't hear back by 10 PM tonight, I can assume that the Submariner date is allocated to me and I can go pick it up on the next day. As I was leaving the shop, he further reassured me that he was very confident that it wouldn't be a problem, and said he was looking forward to seeing me tomorrow. As you can probably guess by now, I did not hear back from the sales associate that night, so I went back to the shop on the next day and I bought the Submariner dates from him. My purchase experience on the day was very smooth. The sales associate was very professional throughout. He offered me champagne, took the time to chat to me, and also sized up the bracelet perfectly for me. I must say I was a very happy customer on this occasion. Now, let's get back to the question on this video's title. How long did I wait for? I honestly don't know what to say. Did I wait for 5 years? Or did I only wait for 1 day? Please, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. On this particular occasion, I managed to buy the steel Submariner dates outright, and the sales associate did not ask me to buy anything else on top to go with my purchase. I am honestly over the moon about this, as my purchasing experience of my Rolex Explorer was a very different story, and it was not in a good way. Now, let me tell you about my referral story. Shortly after I purchased my Submariner dates, I caught up with a friend and I told him about my experience. It turns out that he was also interested in a Submariner date, but the model that he was after was the one with a green bezel. So imagine his reaction when he heard about my experience in obtaining my Submariner. He asked me to introduce him to my sales associate and see if he could get a better chance of scoring one for himself. So I took him to the AD and introduced him to the sales associate who sold me my Submariner date. Unfortunately, the registration for the Starbucks was closed, so my friend asked for the steel Submariner and Submariner date with the black bezel instead. When the sales associate realized my friend was open to the black bezel Submariner, he paused for a second and said, "I know this is not your top choice, but would you consider a two-tone steel and yellow gold black dial Submariner date?" He then pulled out the two-tone Submariner date from the safe and said if my friend is interested, my friend could buy this piece today with no strings attached. To be honest, I was quite surprised. I know the steel and yellow gold Submariner is not the most popular model, but I would have thought that there would still be people who have registered their interest and are still waiting for this piece. I was surprised that my sales associate was able to offer this watch to my friend, who was a new customer to the AD and had never registered his interest for this model. Anyway, my friend spent about 10 minutes looking at the two-tone Submariner and decided that it didn't sing to him. So he politely turned down the offer and told the sales associate that he would like to stick to the steel Submariner date. I am glad my friend made the decision, and I really hope he would be able to get his steel Submariner soon. If the Submariner is not for you and you are considering a more versatile Rolex, check out this video where I have done an in-depth comparison of the 36mm Rolex Explorer and the Datejust 36. It should help you to decide which model is better for you.